Hi guys, Ray here from City Fan TV, and we're here to preview the game between Sheffield United and Manchester City in the Premier League at Bramhall Lane on Sunday. And I'm joined by the most handsome Manchester City YouTuber out there, Bernard Dineen. How you doing, buddy?
I was just going to say the guy who's handsome couldn't turn up, so I've stood in for him. So that's
don't talk about
right.
I'm
wishful thinking with the old for Sunday. I'm just hopeful. I mean, Bramhall Lane is. I like Bramhall Lane. I wish I could go, but you say like gold dust this year. Tickets
are very, very. We'll talk about that. Tickets are very, very difficult to get hold of. I got contacted by let's call him an acquaintance stroke friend, a guy called Jason, who I've helped get tickets for a couple of times in the past, quite a few years ago now, but got him some tickets away at Southampton once. Those were the days when I could get tickets. And he's asking me, he said, look, last season I got tickets for home games. Obviously lives far, far away. And he's trying to get hold of a couple of tickets for him and his lad. And for the Liverpool game, I said, no chance, mate. In the past, I could have helped when my kids were season card holders. If they weren't going, I'd have 2 spare tickets. I can upgrade them. It's no problem. But now they're not season card holders. I'm not wasting my money on those kids anymore. But he said it's so difficult to get tickets now. He's a Citizen Day member or whatever they are, and match day member. He said it's so difficult to get tickets. He sold out just like that for so many games.
Well, will it be any easier when we get to 61,000 capacity? Probably not.
No, because it was. We're on 53. It was hard enough at 55. It was getting difficult at 55, especially for the big games. And where we are now, the demand is a lot more than 55 at the moment. If we're selling out comfortably at 53, even for Champions League dead rubber games that 4 or 5 years ago, even 2 or 3 years ago, we might be struggling to sell out. Yeah. Now we're selling them out. And some games, I remember we got 35 to 40,000. Yeah. And now we're selling.
I was looking back at 2018, 19 or 19, 20, and then 2018. It was like Shakhtar Donetsk. I think. There's like an image of the team arriving, outside the stadium, like 20 people there. Yeah. When the City coach pulled up, like there's obviously a rabble now, isn't there? But I thought, oh, those are the days.
Absolutely. So obviously times are changing. It's going to get harder and harder to get tickets. Forget the away games, for home games. Yeah. Getting to away games, I'm not even looked at anything, because in the past my points would get me tickets. My actual points would get me tickets to games. I can't remember what I've got now. I'm over 11, 12,000, whatever. But I haven't been getting extra points for ages because I've just not been going.
Well, that's it. And that's not 11. Even 11 and 12 is not going to get you to many away games this season.
Yeah. The City just sent me a message.
Replica shirt on its way.
No, you must be kidding. They want me to get on the cup schemes. I'm sure I'm on some of them. I'm not. I haven't joined the Champions League cup scheme because I'm not here.
Well, I better remind my lad, because he said he was going to go on the Champions League one this year, but because not the other two, but the Champions League one. So,
yeah,
I've got trouble last year with trying to get him a ticket, and I was dead lucky once to get him one.
Yeah, no, I've gone for the League and FA Cup schemes. I think that's what I'm going for, not the Champions League, because most evenings I'm not here. I mean, in September, nearly every weekend I'm busy apart from the first weekend, and I've got a couple of weeks in Northern Ireland and Ireland. I'm not going to be able to get to anything. And then in October, I'm off to Germany for 2 weeks. November and December, I've got a load of, Champions League's over by then, but I've got a load of work in some of the evenings. So it's going to be difficult to get to many games. And I don't really want to pay, basically end up, unless you can put them on the exchange, they're not worth being on the scheme, because City can charge whatever they want now, because people want to be on that scheme. So in the past, they might have been charging 35 quid for a ticket. If they put it at 50 quid, you got no say. And I when I had my kids on the schemes as well, I'm thinking, hang on, if we're not around, it's suddenly costing me whatever 80 quid for not going, and you can't put them on the exchange. And anyway, so and because there's only 35, 40,000 people going, nobody wants your ticket now. There will be the demand, so I might revisit that. I think the bottom line is if they put it on the exchange, I'll join the scheme because it's just going to save me a few quid over. I think buying individual tickets is obviously a lot more expensive. Anyway, 5 minutes in, we haven't talked much about Sheffield United. Let's get on to this. Okay, lots going on this week. We've done a few videos. If you want to go and check out the transfer videos we've done, Doku's in, Laporte's gone. Well, Doku's in the house now, but whether he'll be registered for Sunday, but I don't think he'll be in the team. We're looking at Matheus Nunes and Eze. I think we're only going to get one. We're not going to get both. There's absolutely no way. It's pointless, really. We'd have too many players, and Pep doesn't want too many players anyway. So I think Matheus Nunes is the one. And I reckon about 60 million, but he's not going to be signed today, so he's not going to be available. There's going to be an interesting thing to, obviously, we're filming this before Pep's press conference. We're still Friday morning, sorry. Pep's press conference will be in a couple of hours. So we don't actually know the state of our injuries, but we've got a rough idea. KDB's out. John Stones is out. Is Bernardo back? Do you know anything about that? Do you think he's back?
Yeah, but if he's been poorly as opposed to injured, is he going to be fully match fit? That's a problem I can foresee with Bernardo. He was fit enough to put a pen to paper, obviously. But is he fit enough to play now? I've not put him in my 11 because I don't think he'll be 100%, and I don't think they'll probably risk it. He'll be on the bench, but I don't think.
My feeling is not whether it was noises that came out or it was actually in the press conference. He should have been fit last weekend. Bernardo Silva. He should have been.
I think that's so. Yeah, I mean, I'm just working on the basis that he's been poorly up to the sort of.
Yeah, no, you're right. See, he was supposed to be well enough by the weekend.
I was looking at the gallery, you know, the pictures he put on the gallery, the training pictures. I didn't see him anywhere in the training pictures, so.
This is why I'm going to put
to about Tuesday. I think I've not looked after Tuesday.
This is the argument I'm going to put forward. If he was supposed to be well enough to be available last weekend and he wasn't, does that mean his illness lingered for a few extra days past the weekend, or does it mean his illness lingered till about Thursday, Friday? And then he
just wasn't match fit then with the illness,
And then the next week has given him that week to get match fit.
If he's recovered from his illness, just not been back in full training last Thursday, Friday, he should be fine for this week. That shouldn't be.
But on the other hand, all right, we didn't play at our best against Newcastle, but we beat a tough team. And do you think that the players who started against Newcastle, now they've had a week off, do you think they deserve another chance against Sheffield United? I mean, there's not many.
I looked at, to me, it's the backbone of the team. Obviously, Pep will want to go with a similar, all right, so slightly different between Sheffield United and Newcastle, but he'll want to go with a solid 11 that's played together. So as much as he can, he'll want to reward Alvarez. You know, you probably might think Grealish shouldn't be rewarded for his performance, but you know, more or less, yeah. I was working on a bit. I think I made one change in my team. I'll have a look in a minute if you want me to have a look. But I made one change to the Newcastle in my lineup.
Well, if you can have Alvarez and Grealish and Haaland and Foden and Rodri and Kovacic and Edison and Diaz and Vardiol.
I've stuck Aki in if he's fully fit instead of Gvardiol.
I like that. I like that because on one hand you want Gvardiol to get more time to get used to playing alongside Ruben Diaz, but on the other hand you can't just chuck.
I just thought that was not a panic measure, but playing him against Newcastle was just you know, clever. But ease him back again now, just for
here's an option. I don't like it. I do and I don't, but. Having resting Akanji, leaving Guardiola alongside Ruben Diaz.
Yeah, that's the other thing.
On the right and Aki on the left.
Yeah. You know, I mean, even Walker, but I thought, well, Walker is Sheffield, so he'll probably play Walker because it's against Sheffield United. Otherwise, I thought Lewis might have just stepped in as well for a bit more mobility.
Part of me thinks because we've got this huge gap between games, 8 days, okay, that you can just stick to your first team. You don't have to worry about. If we were playing every 3 or 4 days, then I can see us chopping and changing. This game, I don't see the need. We've got no more games before the next one, so I don't see any problem. After this, we've got Fulham at home on the 2nd of September.
And that's it.
6 days.
Couple of weeks.
Yeah. You can start worrying about messing stuff around when you get into the Champions League. When you get,
October's a massive month for good teams. We're playing in October as well.
Well, it's crazy, isn't it? We got Arsenal away. This is in October. Arsenal away. Have we got an international break in October? It's crazy. This. According to, I'm just looking at the fixtures. We've got nothing between the 8th and the 21st
of October.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think we have got an international break. But we've got Arsenal at home. Away. Brighton at home. United away. It's a tough all month. And then you get into November, another international break in November. We've got Chelsea away and Liverpool at home in November as the main games.
Yes,
and
obviously, the fact they're obviously going to be playing internationals and stuff doesn't help, does it? But as you say, they're not exactly working up. Poor old Rodri won't have to have a rest, will he? Surely.
Well, here's the thing. If we get Matheus Nunes, I'm just going to mention this. If we were talking about Matheus Nunes yesterday, guys, go and watch the video if you want more information about Matheus Nunes. But basically, the guy can play the double pivot. He can play alongside Rodri, or we can rest Rodri. We can play Kovacic and Matheus Nunes, rest Rodri for the odd game. When we need it, I think that's going to be the way to go. Obviously, Calvin Phillips, he looks at this. He's got no chance of playing for City. But he won't. Hey, he's got a contract. He ain't going to leave in a hurry. So that's his prerogative. So injuries are okay. We kind of covered that. The biggest thing to talk about is hologram Pep. Is how are we going to survive without Pep on the sidelines? Because he's like a spider with 8 legs, basically his arms are all over the place. He's like one of those, I don't know what you call them, those, I'm going to say the blow-up dolls, but one of those figures that stands up and you blow the wind up and his arms are just going like that. You see them at events and stuff. Because Pep's there, doing stuff, calling players and whispering at them and shouting at them and sometimes getting his message across. Will the players feel that there's something missing come Sunday when Pep's not there?
It's a matter of pride, mate, isn't it? At the end of the day, they've got, obviously they've been told, let's do it for Pep, and we can do all the plaudits and say all the things we're supposed to say. Let's go out there and do it. He's not here. Obviously, he's not, it's only a minor operation. It's not the end of the world, is it? It's not as though you go, oh, come on, lads, we've got to do it. You think back to the old David Silva thing with the baby and the play, that's something different, isn't it? This isn't like that. But I do worry, as you know, I am worried. I do worry about this next 2 games. Certainly Sheffield away shouldn't be a big problem. We got players who are experienced enough to step up. I'll say it again. I've no faith in Lilo. I have no faith whatsoever.
Pep does. That's a lot. I don't care.
As a sounding board for Pep, yeah, he's probably all right. But as a manager, I've looked at his managerial record. It's crap. It's simple as that. It's crap. He's not been anywhere more than 12 months from what I can see. He's just no good as a manager. And looking at him, he wouldn't inspire me. I mean, he might look a bit like Kevin Keegan, but he's nothing like Kevin Keegan. So it's up to the players. It's up to the players not to let us down. It's as simple. Let Pep down and let us down. And it's as simple as that, I think, over the next couple of games.
I'm going to have to go and look for a poo emoji for when you say crap on the video. Just have a poo emoji coming up. Dear me. Okay, yeah, well, yeah, I kind of have to agree with you there. Looking at him doesn't instill me with confidence, but you can't judge a book by its covers. And for Pep...
No, but look at his managerial record. It's not very impressive. That's what I'm judging him by.
But I'm saying Pep's happy with him, and if that's good enough for Pep...
Yeah.
It's good enough. It's got to be good enough for us.
If I see him there with a phone stuck to his ear or headphones on, I'll be happy. I'll be quite happy.
So I agree that pride will get you through the games. Most of the games you're not listening to Pep anyway. So you've everything you've been taught and trained.
I'm sure tactically he's on a loudspeaker before telling him what he wants them to do, or he'll be having conversations like he does now independently with him. He'll be saying certain things, won't he? I'm sure he's physically able to use a phone or whatever.
Yeah, he's done his batting. No,
I'm sure he's not at the golf course just yet. Although obviously, he might with being in Barcelona, he might sneak out.
I tell you what, it'd be interesting if some pictures come out of Pep playing golf.
That'd be funny. He'd be sacked.
Oh, I could tell you it was 20 odd years ago. I could tell you some stories when I would go out playing golf instead of going to work. They call me boss.
And if someone catches you on film or video, I mean, I've seen it before where people have been filmed and obviously been in trouble then because they're not supposed to be at the British Open or whatever, they've caught in the background.
Oh no, see, I wasn't as daft as that. I'd go to play on my own at a golf course, small golf course. I wasn't like going to a big, big match or something going on telly. Woo! I was just sneaking along playing golf on my own.
Being interviewed anyway.
Oh no! I'll tell you what, my boss. If I'd been caught, they let me off. They would have let me off. That's kind of environment it was. Anyway, so Sheffield United, obviously, they're back in the big time, back in the Premier League. They lost 2 players.
I thought they deserved a loss against Palace. They were well beaten by Palace. Palace should have won by more than 1 goal. But they put up a good performance against Forest. Who were slightly unlucky to lose in the last minute with Mr. Wood popped up, didn't he? So that was, typical. He popped up with an 89th minute goal. But they did play better, and it was quite an even game against Forest. Not that Forest were any great shakes, as we know, but at their ground, the City ground, they're very good. Very good.
I think it's hard to tell about Sheffield. Sorry, jumping about Sheffield United because of the people that played. They haven't lost by much, but they've only played Crystal Palace and Nottingham Forest.
They do look a bit weak up front. That's why they've been after this new guy, haven't they? Cameron Archer from Villa. They do look a bit iffy up front. They're not taking the chances, and of course, a big blow for them. Obviously, losing our couple of guys who were quite efficient. What did they bring? Was it Hamer? They brought in a guy called Hamer. Gustavo Hamer from Coventry, 17 million. I'd never heard of him before. And lots and bits and pieces. Tom Davis was an interesting one, I must admit. He's that sort of player I always imagined he'd stay at his native club because he has that sort of character.
Released him.
Very odd.
No. What I find a little bit strange is they got this fella Hamer in, like you say. Okay, £17 million for him. And he's a championship player. Now, you might think he's got potential to get out, a bit higher than that. So, Gustav.
They've done it funny, haven't they? I mean, all right, they got a guy from Arsenal, but I've never even heard of him. Austin Trusty.
I'll tell you who they got. Obviously Tom Davis on a free. Everybody else undisclosed. They got this Anis Slimani from Brøndby. He's Turkish, I think. I'm guessing with that name, Slimani. They got Benny Traore.
Another Traore.
So his dad must be tired. I mean, this Traore is everywhere. Where's he from? Cote d'Ivoire? Is he the Cote d'Ivoire or Ireland? Looking at his flag. They got Austin Trusty, an American guy from Arsenal.
Old Trusty, yeah.
They just got Vinicius Souza, who's Brazilian, from Lomeleske, but that's a second division side in Belgium.
Well, that's where our guy went, wasn't it? Lomeleske, that's where I think he's gone. Yeah.
Which guy?
Lalic. Yeah.
Leon Lalic. And I did remember the guy's name from yesterday. If you watched the video, I couldn't remember the Algerian guy. Isaac Boussouf. It looks like he's put on a few pounds since he went.
So generally, then we're saying Sheffield don't look as though they're strengthened particularly, aren't we?
Well, we don't. Yeah. I mean,
based on our lack of knowledge of those guys.
No, look who they've got and where they've got them from. Brøndby, BK Häcken, Arsenal, Arsenal reserves that we've never heard of. Lomeleske, second division in Belgium, and Isaac Boussouf has been on the Belgian chips. Trust me, that's why he's putting a bit of pounds. Gustavo Hamer from Coventry. And Tom Davis' failure at Everton. The thing that surprises me, if they can spend the reported £17 million on Hamer, why didn't they pay that for Tommy Doyle and James McAtee? Why didn't they go to City and say, we want both of them, 17 million quid, 20 million quid, get them both? Yeah. Here's the thing, they were good enough to help you, and they played most of the games last season, didn't they?
Yeah.
Okay. If they were good enough to get you out of the Championship, Why aren't they good enough to play for you in the Premier League?
Yeah, and why would the mass player out? I don't think either. You know what I mean? They're not got rid of loads of
they did get rid of a lot of
players to bring in better players. They've not, you know, it's not happened.
Well, exactly. Look, James McAtee, okay, played 37 games in the Championship, scoring 9 goals. I think that's a pretty decent record. For a guy who's not as a striker. You know, that's a goal in every 4 games.
Well, James McAtee hinted that he didn't want to.
Yeah. Okay, that's a possibility.
He might have said, you know, he might have thought at the time there was a chance at City, which we thought perhaps before the season as well.
Tommy Doyle has played 33 times in the Championship last season. Okay, Tommy Doyle's City career is basically he played 1 appearance in the league, 1 appearance in the FA Cup, 1 appearance in the League Cup, and that's it. After that, he's been at Hamburg Bundesliga 2 on loan, 6 appearances. Cardiff City Championship on loan, 19 appearances. And last season at Sheffield United, he's got no future at City. I'm surprised if he played that many games at Sheffield United, was that integral in helping them get promotion, why they didn't come back. And he wants to go back to them on loan. I don't see why they buy Hamer. They should have just bought. They should have gone to City and said, we've got Tommy Doyle and McAtee, we'll pay you 20 million quid. Now it's up to the players to say no to that. And I think Tommy Doyle would have said
I can't understand the mindset of some of these, you know, these teams that do come up from the Championship. All right, they get the boat, they get all this, you know, they get this thing about the playoffs and how much it's worth to these teams coming to the Premier League, and then they don't. All right, they might struggle to get the players they want, but a lot of them just don't seem to spend anything like what they probably could spend. I mean, is it going in someone's back pocket? Is someone just we'll take that as a bonus and we'll go down next season, but. It just seems really odd. I mean, I remember watching that thing on Kevin Phillips with the Leeds. Yeah. And Leeds board's attitude, you know, you could see it. It wasn't a fact of wanting Leeds to grow and become big. It was money. It was what can we get? You know, what can we get? And this Mr. Phillips could get injured next week and we'd lose all that money. Their actual attitude is really negative. There's no you know, positivity in actually what I mean. Leeds for me, you know, it's a one club city. You should be looking to the future, building a new stadium, looking at things like that, and they don't have that. And obviously, teams like Sheffield United, I mean, they're just accepting that they're going to be up and down. I think, and just not committing themselves to trying to get some better players in.
Yeah, no, you're right about Leeds. I mean, we shouldn't be really talking about Leeds on the Sheffield United thing, but you're right. They're a one city club. They should be. The problem is everybody's looking for immediate success. Yeah, and infrastructure and stuff like that isn't part of the plan because that costs a lot of money. That costs a lot of money, and that money, do you want to spend it on getting to the promised land? And then when you're in the promised land, it's staying there. You have to stay there for long enough to accumulate enough money to then go and spend on your stadium. Look at Man United. I mean, they've been here so long and they still won't fix their stadium. Yeah. But you've got people like, I think, Bournemouth and others, Brighton. They will expand. They will build new stadium or expand the facilities or make them better. But they need to be here for a few years. And Leeds just weren't here long enough. So it's a bit odd the way Sheffield United are doing things. We think, obviously, we don't know so much about them, but that's what we think. Are there any players that you're worried about in Sheffield? No. I'll start again. Are there any players at Sheffield United you've heard of?
No. I've heard of them, but they wouldn't worry me on that basis.
Sheffield United fans, if you're watching this, we're just jesting with you.
There are names, but I mean, no, because we're sticking up for the Sheffield United fans and saying the board should be putting more money into it to actually make them improve and stay in the Premier League. That's what we're saying.
I'd love to see. I'd love to see that.
I mean, at the moment, we can't see it. They were obviously before the season. I think both of us said they looked as though they were favourites to go down based on what they did. If they'd gone out and bought and done something, we could look at that player. Oh yeah, he's done very well. But they haven't. They don't done anything like that.
It's not necessarily going out and spending a lot of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't need to.
Just being canny, you know, just having a plan, and they don't look as, I mean, to us from the outside, and they say there might be some clever, cunning plan that we're not aware of, as Baldrick would say. But yeah, at this moment, I feel sorry for Sheffield United fans because, you know, they could just bounce back down. You know, is it another West Brom? West Brom do the same, don't they? They get in and get back down again. And Sheffield United got a good fan base as far as you know. All right, you have to suffer because you've got two clubs. City will have Sheffield Wednesday, of course, but you've still got a cracking fan base, and you should build on that. As I say, we did bring Leeds into it. Leeds have got the, you know, even, you know, they should have built on it as well, and they didn't.
Yeah, absolutely. So we don't know much about Sheffield United. Obviously, we just know from what we've seen. They had a good season last season in the Championship.
As we say, it's a free hit, so they're going to have a go.
Yeah,
of course. We know they're usually reasonably physical. I think they were physical against Palace. I saw the Palace game. I think there's some bookings and stuff. So we'll give it a go and take advantage of City. Perhaps a little chink in our armour with no Pep there, and why not? Why not try and take advantage?
Here's some tactics, okay? Do you go into this game and say, yes, it's a free hit, but we don't want to get battered because battered hurts our confidence. Battered means poor goal difference. You know, you don't want to have a real go at pop at City and end up losing 4 or 5 because that's bad for your goal difference, bad for your morale, and everything else. So,
no, I think as long as he's, you know, I don't think City will batter him. I don't think City will. I think we'll win, but I don't think we'll batter him. And I think from their point of view, if you look at the next 3 Premier League games they've got as well after us, you've got Everton at home, which they would be hoping to win. And then they got Spurs away, which is dodgy, and Newcastle at home. So in theory, if they don't, you know, they don't get anything against us, which we're saying, they could end up after 6 games just having 3 points if they beat Everton. And that's it. So they've got to make a stand somewhere. That means risking something, then so be it. But they won't. They'll try and play compact and get us on. I think
that's the problem.
Free kicks and stuff like most teams do that standard.
I think the problem is, and I've said this many times, especially when teams come to Etihad, that they're so concerned about getting battered that they get beat.
I think they'll be confident. I think they can play with confidence. It's the 3rd game of the season. You know, the manager doesn't send them out with confidence, and he shouldn't be in the job. Yeah,
no, I think they're going to take it as a free hit. If you know, it's hard to say it. You might say it's not pragmatic or practical to say, lads, go out there, have a go at them. If we lose 4 or 5,
they've got no manager. They've got a 4'6" guy giving them instructions who they can't understand what he's saying, and you know, so go out there, give them help. Because how many times is I know you worry about goal difference, but you know the chances of it coming down to goal difference are quite small.
Look,
so
you've got all the
don't worry about that yet, guys. Let's go out and give it a go.
You're right, Bernard. If it's towards the end, if this is in the last 4 or 5 games of the season, and there's 3 or 4 clubs all very close, then I'd say, yeah, it's an issue. Yeah, you're right. Most of the time, it doesn't matter. Could the manager go out? I'd like to think he could go out and say, lads, I tell you what, okay, go and have a go in the first half. Go at them. We'll reassess at halftime if if we're getting beat by 3 or 4-0, we shut up shop. If we're in the game, we go at them in the second half. But go at them. I don't care what happens, you know, and I will not be dropping you. If you do your jobs that I've asked you to do, don't worry, because you'll all be playing the next game. That will hopefully give them that freedom and confidence to think, all right, I'm not worried about my spot. Because you are worried when you go out there, you know, that you're going to look bad. And so you end up playing ultra cautiously and you end up getting beat. And the problem is, we've seen it. Look at Burnley last season in the FA Cup when they come to our ground. First half an hour, they were all right. We got ahead, and then they got beat, and then they got battered in that second half. And that's the worry. You come out, you're too defensive. We get 1 or 2 goals ahead. You're going to get beat, and then you end up getting the battering that you would have got if you'd come out after us. Because, you know, I just think I've always said, go at City. If you let us play, you're going to get beat. Some teams because one of the problems is teams will look at other teams' performances, or they defended and they got something. That was 1 out of 20 teams or whatever, 1 out of 15 teams. that were a poor side that defended it against us like crazy, and they got lucky. What about the other 14 or 15 teams that we battered? They've ignored them. They just focused on the team. How did they get something? Well, why don't you say, how did the others get nothing? And a lot of the others, they defended and they got nothing. They put 9 men behind the ball, they got nothing. Do something different. And the way to do something different, the way to challenge us is to put us under pressure. If you just if you stand off us and play 9 or 10 behind the ball, you will probably get beat. As teams who've got beaten by us, we don't lose too many games a season. And we don't generally lose to teams who are playing totally on the back foot. So anyway, let's look at this. Last couple of questions then. Who do you think our key men are going to be on Sunday?
Let me have a look at my team. Let me remind myself of what team I've put out. And
Doku!
Well, Doku will not be playing. He won't get on.
Will he be on the bench?
Get on the pitch with 5-0 up, and if he's in the squad, that is. We don't even know he'll be in the squad yet, do we? In fairness. Grealish has got to do something. Grealish has got to use this as an opportunity if he does get a start, which I thoroughly expect him to happen. He's got to do something, hasn't he? Let's be honest about it. And Foden's got to keep up his masterclass. I think if Foden's firing again, and we're due a hat-trick from Haaland. So Grealish, Foden and Haaland, obviously the attackers, are key to whether we're going to win this, I think. I think Haaland's due a good game. Grealish is due doing something, and Foden just wants to keep up all the kudos he's won against Newcastle. He's got to keep it up now. You know, we've called him the new KDB, so he's got to step up. I'm not too worried about the midfield and the defence. That'll sort itself out. We're quite capable at the back. Ederson's on fire for me. I think he's having his purple patch now with City. So yeah, those 3 guys up front who I fully expect to be Grealish, Haaland, Foden, I think Alvarez, why not? Fantastic goal last week. Let's make him undroppable for Pep, because he's never had that opportunity, has he, to be undroppable? He's always been very droppable. When I've been picking my 11s and Alvarez has played, if Bernardo was back, he'd be the first one to step aside, obviously. Yeah.
But he's a problem. He's a problem. It's a good and a bad problem. Alvarez, after the last game, you think you can't drop him. You can't drop him. He scored the goal, worked really hard. Okay? Look, if that goal had been tipped over, you might have said something different. But he scored the winner. Okay? That clutch moment, he came up with the goods. No one, Haaland didn't. Okay? And Haaland had plenty of much easier chances. But you look at Cole Palmer, Community Shield, you might say it's a glorified friendly. It is. You know, now that we didn't win it, it's glorified friendly. Pre-season tour to London. But he's got a wonderful goal. Disappeared. Sevilla, another glorified friend. Well, no, it's not a glorified friendly. It's a big, major competition.
Super game. Super goal.
That's why they call it super. That's why I call it super. They call the Community Shield to let teams like Arsenal enter it, because you know we're kind of.
It was much better. It's called charity. That'll be all right. Yeah. Charity for Arsenal. Yeah.
But, no, it's our care in the Community Shield to let Arsenal be involved in that. And the Super Cup is called the Super Cup because, hey, you have to be super to even get there. And that's not super oil. It's not super engine oil. It's super in football. But Cole Palmer scores the winner in the Super Cup, if I remember correctly. And he has a good game.
Not the winner.
Sorry?
We drew. It wasn't the winner.
Sorry. Oh, sorry. I was about to come back and say, did we actually win that? No, he scored the equaliser, but he had a man of the match performance that second half. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. And where is he? So he's easily droppable. That's the issue. So that's the worry for Alvarez, that you could be brilliant. And Mara's had it a few times.
As you say, Bernardo's fit. I fully expect Bernardo to play if he's fully fit. And now, obviously, the obvious one, you know, is he brave enough to drop Grealish, his pet, or is he going to drop Alvarez?
Bernardinine, you're calling Grealish teacher's pet. Now, I'll tell you what, if we had some reach on our social media, that would spread like wildfire. Bernardinine calls Grealish teacher's pet. Oh, I'm going to try and remember that with my old age. I can't remember, but I'm going to try. I'm going to write that down, actually. Bernard Dineen.
Hey, this is the same bird that used to stick up for him when everyone else was slagging him off.
And now he's calling him teacher's pet. But the thing is, not if Pep had some balls, he'd drop Grealish and say, "You ain't doing that, mate," and put Bernardo on the left or Alvarez on the left.
He's in serious danger now. The old other guys come anyway.
Doku, hey, he might say, "Hey, Doku, come on down. The price is right. Grealish hasn't been performing this season. Doku starts." But it'll be interesting. In all seriousness, I would like to see him give Alvarez another go, because if you're playing bit part games, like you say, you don't get that rhythm. You don't get that chance to have that, obviously, continuity breeds, hopefully, confidence and improved performances. It's against Sheffield United. Give Alvarez the start. It's not going to make much difference to Bernardo Silva to have him on the bench and not on the pitch at the start of the game. If you want him on the pitch, left wing, or put Alvarez on the left and Bernardo on the right. Do whatever you want, but keep Alvarez in that side. He's got to play. Otherwise, I'm not convinced with Alvarez. You know, everybody else is saying, "Whoa, he's a wonderful player." I'm not convinced with him. He works hard, but hey, I could get you. So Usain Bolt on that pitch, he'd work hard. What's that? Oh, sorry, it's Mr. Alvarez giving me a call, so he deserves to start. Is it? Oh, it's a call from Spain, coming from Barcelona.
Oh yeah, all right. It's hologram.
It's hologram, Pep. Right. Finally, Bernard, I need a score prediction, because I'm going to have to.
Yeah, I've been very kind to Sheffield. I've just gone. I'll give them a goal. I thought, why not? Let's give them a goal, because we've not let any in yet, so we're due to let one in at some stage and go behind. I've said 3-1.
3-1 to Sheffield United. Wow. You got no faith. You got no faith in Lionel Lil.
You know, I can't remember the last time I've said I'm a bit worried about a game, but I can't remember ever predicting City to lose for the last 3 years. I don't think.
I predict that the only time I can remember predicting City to lose against Arsenal in the Community Shield.
Oh, well, yeah, possible, yeah.
But all right, I'm going to go 2-0. No, I'm going to go 3-0 City. I'm going to go 3-0 City. I think once we get ahead, their heads will drop and we'll just ease out another goal or two, and hopefully do it comfortably. Hopefully give Mr. Doku. We'll find out soon what his name is. I think it's Doku now. Now, before he came, he was Doku. Everyone calls him Doku. Now he's here. They're trying to, get his name right, so it's Doku.
Even I might eventually get it right. It's only 4 letters.
We'll see. We'll see how that goes. But I'm going 3-0. I think I just want it to be an easy-ish game. Give people a chance. Get some subs on. I want to see Doku have a few minutes. I want to see Cole Palmer coming on. Might even see McAtee. Why not? Or Bernardo Silva. We can have five subs. Why not? If we're winning 3-0 with 10 minutes to go, why not bring them all on? Why not? No, just give them some minutes, because hey, some of them might not be here much longer. Give them some minutes. Well, Doku will. But anyway, there you have it, guys. Bernard is predicting a slightly closer game than me.
And Andy Morrison predicted 3-1 as well.
Don't care about him. All care about your predictions, Bernard. You're the man. You are the man. You are the B in the bang, the D in the dong, and the B in the bong. I don't know. We might update our alliterations for a future show. But thanks a lot, Bernard. Thanks a lot. And I might be back later on to talk about Pep's press conference. I might not, because the missus is back. And now the cat's back. This mouse has to start cleaning up the house, tidying up, and get back to it. My kids are back.
It's Lilo's press conference, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, it could be. But why can't we get... It's a point.
We need subtitles.
That's an interesting one. I'm going to have to change my graphic now. I'm going to have to change my graphic. Lilo Lil's press conference. Why can't they get Pep from his...
golf course. From the golf course.
he's in Barcelona golf course, Club Golf de Barça. He's there having a round or two. Or maybe he's giving Xavi some coaching tips. Who knows what he's doing in Barcelona. Thanks a lot, Bernard, mate. Guys, if you're new to the channel, as usual, please subscribe. We snuck through 5,000 subscribers. I don't know where they're all coming from. I'm going to have to do some research to find out where all these new subscribers are coming from. because he's certainly not
Algeria.
They're certainly not from Algeria. Certainly not. Croatia. I've said lots of nice stuff about Croatia, about Josko Gvardiol. I did lots of videos about Josko Gvardiol and done videos about Kovacic. And we even mentioned Leon Lalic yesterday. So maybe the Croatian people are tuning in. And besides those blue rinses who are after Bernard's demure good looks. He's the thinking man's James Bond. No, it's more like I was going to say Benny Hill, isn't it? It's Benny Hill. Benny Hill.
Morecambe onto that.
I was going to say Eric Morecambe was that. But you're more Benny Hill than Eric Morecambe.
Hey.
Anyway, I'm going to shoot, guys. Take care. Thanks a lot, guys.